Watch the ride.
Hey everybody, so I need to highlight this again, even though I have done it many times in the past, but I also want to talk about how three companies are being stupid and how if they could just get together they could all benefit from a working relationship. So the first thing I need to point out is this. I have a PO box. That comes from Royal Mail. I'm going to write that there. Royal Mail. You can only send things to Royal Mail PO boxes from Royal Mail via the post office. You can't send it via Parcelforce because the only people that know what the PO box address is Royal Mail. By the way, the post office, Royal Mail and Parcelforce are three separate companies. So if you want to send to me in my house with a slightly messed up roof, looks like a mushroom, now it's got a face, you have to go to the post office, send it via Royal Mail. Now Royal Mail has a limit of 2 kilos, so that's, as I say, if you send something over 2 kilos, what should happen is the person behind the counter in the post office says, I'm very sorry, but Royal Mail doesn't take anything over 2 kilos and Parcelforce can't send to PO boxes, so I'm very sorry, we can't do this. But they don't do that because they don't know what they're doing a lot of the time, and then they send it anyway, and then one of two things happens. It gets sent to Parcelforce, and Parcelforce then send me a letter to my PO box, so we'll put PO box. Then I confirm my address, and then they send it to me. So the only way it can definitely work is if it goes post office, Royal Mail, that goes to my PO box, and then they deliver that to my house. Or they will return to sender. And that's happened to one of my followers recently. It's happened to people in the past. This has bitten lots of people because even though I've pointed it out many times, they haven't really thought about it. They've, they'll know in the post office. They're not going to send it some way they can't do it. So they take a box in, it's 2.5 kilos, so it goes over the Royal Mail limit, and then they go, oh, well, that has to go through Parcelforce then, even though they can't send it to a PO box. So that's why you cannot send stuff via Parcelforce to a PO box. But this is where this is so stupid. The post office are normally franchises, shops owned by people, and then they take the role as a post office, and that's their business. Royal Mail are the people who pick it up and then take it and deliver it to your door. They're also the people that own the PO boxes. Parcelforce are a company which take parcels. And it works well because if you're going to send something under 2 kilos, well, you're going to probably do that with Royal Mail because the pricing's better that way. You might not have the same protections, well, you might go for that instead, but the point being, you'll probably go for Royal Mail. If it's overseas, you may still go Royal Mail. But if it's over 2 kilos, you have to go with Parcelforce. So generally, people use Royal Mail for 2 kilos and under, and Parcelforce for 2 kilos and above. There are other alternatives, I know, but this is the thing you've got on your high street. Well, it's been there a long time. It's what people know the best. I know there's other companies, but they have their own problems. And they say they work with these 2 companies. But because these 2 companies won't work with each other, even though they work with the post office together, they're not even in competition, as I say, because of the way their pricing structure works. If they did work together, everyone would win, and this is why. So, all Royal Mail has to do is tell Parcelforce where the addresses are. Just share that information. Because then, the post office, they get their money. The Royal Mail, they get their money because it's going to a PO box, so they've got their money through this bit. And then Parcelforce make their money because they're delivering a parcel over a size that Royal Mail can't take anyway. So, by Royal Mail sharing that information, they are making this PO box better value, and they're getting work out of it because they're sending stuff that they refuse to send anyway. So that's a win-win situation, isn't it? Equally, if they work together, more people would go to a post office to send via Parcelforce to a PO box because you can, rather than having to split it into 2 or not bothering. Now, the problem comes, my understanding of this, having spoken to someone who works Parcelforce, is because Parcelforce don't like this method. They like a person to sign it, so they know that it's arrived to the person, not just to the address. I can understand that because they have to guarantee the mail. Should someone go to the post office, pay Parcelforce to deliver a parcel, they deliver it to the PO box and then Royal Mail lose it, well, this person's going to want their money back. They're going to ask that money back from Parcelforce, and actually, the person who needs to pay it is Royal Mail. But they're not going to pay it because they didn't get any money from that, although they did get the money from the PO box. So I can understand this issue. But all that has to happen for this to work harmoniously is that Royal Mail shares information with Parcelforce, Parcelforce agrees to take it to PO boxes and just sets out a new set of terms and conditions that say if you send to a PO box, we only guarantee it until it reaches the PO box, as in the sorting office. So then, say your parcel goes missing, well then you're out of luck. You're not going to get your refund because they've done their job, they've got it to this person. That person in the PO box, in the post office can say, yes, I've seen this, I've scanned it, I've got the parcel, it's here. This person's now, yep, we've done our job, you can't get any money back from us. And that might just have to be the way that it is. Or you're going to have to work out some agreement, you two, to make that work. But because of your pricing structures, which are meant to be basically harmonious and not competitive, by not working together, you're just shooting yourselves in the foot. I pointed this out to the post office and via a tweet because I'm getting sick and tired of this. Just saying, you know, your workers keep sending this stuff via this way and you can't do that. And they got on the defensive. And here's the reply tweet and sort of said, you know, no, our workers have got all the information they need, blah, blah, blah. And then I explained, and they obviously didn't read the tweet above it. And I explained, no, I'm not the one sending it, it's people sending stuff to me. So the only way that this can happen is if your workers don't know what they're doing. It's proving itself to be a problem by existing. It should never happen if they know. So they very quickly did that. Oh, I'm very sorry, we'll highlight this issue. It makes me feel bad because even though I pointed it out to people, they go to a post office and they are the ones who get misled. It's just wrong and it's stupid. If companies could work together, if these two big companies could work together, it just works out better for everyone, including the post office. And you can apply the same things that Parcelforce do to all the other couriers. They will not deliver to a PO box because it's a Royal Mail thing. They have the you know, they go in their thing and see PO box 170, blah, blah, blah. Ah, that goes to this person because I pay slightly more a year, like it's an extra 20 quid, and they deliver the stuff to my house rather than me having to go down there and try and bring it back on a bike. So there you go. Please, if you're going to send something to my PO box, make sure A, it's not a sample, and B, it's under 2 kilos per box, because otherwise you're going to fall into this problem. And I can't guarantee that if you send it through... I mean, a while ago I would have said, yeah, it wasn't a problem, because Parcelforce seemed to be sending me letters, but there's been several that have been sent back, including ones back to Germany, which means people really lost out, and that sucks. It makes me feel really bad. It wasn't until I started doing the metalworks and sending stuff that I really learned about, you know, how they're all different companies and how they work, to realise that if they just got in a room together and just went, yeah, that works out for all of us, why don't we do that? Why? Why don't you do it? And something else I want to point out, because this is just stupid of Royal Mail, but I kind of get why they're doing it, because it won't fit through. I'll get onto it. So if you want to send a large letter, that can actually be up to like A4, maybe even slightly bigger. Yeah, about A4, like Jiffy envelopes and stuff. Now if you got an A4 Jiffy envelope and you sliced it into you know, a couple of inch wide strips, and then you stack those on top of each other, they'd make something of probably this sort of size and that long. But if you want to send something through a tube, you know, like a poster tube, that's a fantastic tube, even though it's going to be smaller end on but the same length, they charge you twice as much. Because it has to be sent as a big parcel, because it doesn't fit through their narrow little slot in their pricing thing. It makes no sense. You could probably fit 10 or more of those tubes inside one of those parcels they charge the same amount for. It makes no sense. It's taking advantage of people doing that. But that might give you a hint as to what's coming. I'm going to be doing posters soon. But I just wanted to talk about that. I wanted to just highlight it. I wanted to make it clear to you that you can't do that. I have contacted the post office and asked them to let their employees know they can't do it. All they've got to do is send a memo across all their post offices, you know, an email, and just say, hey, if you didn't know, you can't do this. And if they just said to everyone, by the way, you can't do that, then there wouldn't be a problem, would there? But there is, because they don't know. Lack of product knowledge causes an awful lot of problems. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. If you enjoyed this video and the other content on the channel, please consider following the links in the description to show your support.